Alrighty, guys, I have an absolute bumper episode, an absolutely legendary guest for you guys today. My really, really good friend, Stu, who's doing absolutely amazing things. He's up to $13,000 cash collected this month, just in the startup phase of business. And what I love most about Stu is he's probably the easiest person I've ever had to coach. He reaches out if he has any questions. He takes action on things. He pushes himself out of his comfort zone. He has a really amazing way of thinking where he knows what he really wants the business to look like over the next 12 and 24 months. So, mate, firstly, congratulations on doing so well the last couple of months, and thank you so much for coming on. But Stu, mate, just for the people watching or listening along, do you want to give us a little overview about how you got into fitness and what brought you to being on the episode today?
Yeah, sure. Thanks, Jimmy. It's good to be on. Thanks for having me, mate. A couple of years ago, I was 140 kilos and working in a job that I hated. Working for council doing traffic engineering, I actually thought I might give medicine a crack because I sort of wanted to do that when I was younger, and didn't really go anywhere with it. And then I was studying the human physiology side of things to get into medicine, and I realized, well, if I'm going to be a doctor, I'm going to probably have to lose a bit of weight and be a better example, and especially when one of their main things they tell people is lose weight. So I actually joined an 8-week challenge at a gym, and everything sort of went from there, and I actually won the challenge, and six or so weeks, I guess along the way, I sort of decided I wanted to maybe go down that road rather than the medicine, because it made such a big change in my life, getting into fitness and things like that. So that's what I did. I went and I did the course while I was working at council, and then pulled the pin on the job and just went straight into a 24/7 gym as a PT. And after a couple of months of that, I decided that wasn't really where I wanted to be. I wanted to do my own thing, have my own leads come in who actually sort of expressed an interest in wanting to work with me rather than having to just approach people on the gym floor. So I started a boot camp in a park, and then did that for 2 years, and then earlier this year opened up the studio here.
Yeah, mate, really, really amazing journey. And thank you so much for sharing that. We actually got in the fitness industry for like the same reasons. When I was 15, I was like 107 kilos and about 15 centimeters short than what I am today. So I was really overweight and got bullied a lot in school and had all that kind of stuff. And fitness just made me a happier person. Like I just felt kind of felt like a new Jimmy. So I can kind of understand a little bit about your journey as well, and you just really fall in love with the feeling of fitness. And I think people who have their own amazing story become really amazing coaches as well, because they're in it for the right reasons. So thank you for sharing that. So guys, with Stu today, we're going to cover what's working for him right now in marketing. Going to cover a little bit on sales, a few interesting things on why he prefers to get credit card over the phone than face-to-face consults, and a little bit of help he's got along the way. And then just a little bit of final thoughts. So, mate, with the marketing, Stu, what's working really well for you now in terms of your paid Facebook and Instagram ads? I know are going quite well.
Yeah, so at the moment, I'm actually running a 6-week challenge front end offer. So yeah, just paid Facebook and Instagram ads. Basically using some of the copy that you've got in your portal, and just adjusting the wording a little bit to suit my niche and business a little bit. And yeah, just running the ads how you recommend, mate. That's what's working for me.
And guys, one of the things with Stu ads, so Stu sends through his KPIs every week. And when I see that Stu is the cash that he's collecting on the front end is higher than his ad spend, if you guys can nail that like Stu is, you can scale to infinity. So when I'm saying that, Stu, is your ads are going really well, but all the metrics and guidelines, we're in a real position where we could double, triple, quadruple your business. And mate, you're not afraid to spend money as well. How much are you spending a week on your ads at the moment?
700. I've got 100 a day on it.
Yeah. And mate, was that like, to be honest, like we work with hundreds of, yeah. Sorry, you go.
I was just saying, I'm not scared to spend the money, because I know that it's like a machine. You put $1 in, you get $1 out or more. And then on the back end, that's where you make the money. So as long as I can get them in the door, that's the thing. Yeah.
Yeah, and mate, I must say it's a incredible trade. It's something that we've never talked about your mindset around money, because, you know, to be completely transparent, there'll be a lot of people watching or listening to this who are spending $10, $15, $20, $30 a day and like really stressed about it, right? Was this something that, like, have you always had a really good understanding of money and metrics, or is it something new for you? Because not many people would comfortably spend 100 a day on their ads in the fitness industry, my friend.
Yeah. I mean, I had no idea about marketing to begin with. I worked in a council job, and it was all just, you know, you just sold your time for money. So I learned everything just over the last couple of years. And I think just having an open mind and listening to the people who've done it before is what helped me there. I know that you know Jono Petrohilos.
Amazing guy. Very smart.
So I started out just doing his boot camp courses. And one of the things he talked about was, if you spend, you know, just for example, if you get one client that pays you $600, well, if you can spend $600 on advertising, and as long as you get that one client, you know that you're like on your level. So I've always just kept that in my mind and used that as my way of thinking, because, like I said, if I spend X dollars and I get that back, and then I know that at the end I'm probably going to convert them to a long-term client, and it makes sense to me.
Yeah. So guys, the metrics in fitness, and there's a couple of tactics you can do to improve things, but we make all our money in fitness on the back end. It's like a very back end based business if you're doing trials and things like that. So what Stu said is 100% correct. If you can self-liquidate on your offers, so at the moment Stu's making money each week, which is even better, is when the people stay on for 24, 52 weeks, 2 years. That's when you start to get 4-to-1, 5-to-1, 6-to-1 on your ads, which means when you put $1 in, you get $6 back. But it's all just back end based revenue. So mate, really, really good and strong mindset on that. And Stu, do you want to share a little bit with the guys about the Godfather or the upfront offer you ran, because that worked quite nicely for you, didn't it?
Yeah. So I did that first for Boxing Day, and it was basically a practice run, I guess. And I had 25 members or something at that stage, and two people took up the offer, which was really good. Like, that's, you know, almost 10%, and I didn't do the best job at it, so I was pretty stoked to just be sitting there having Christmas or New Year with the family and see my Stripe thing come through. You've made this much. So, but yeah, so I gave it another go last month, and I ran it as a Mother's Day deal. The week leading up to Mother's Day, I automated it all through the CRM, and just got text messages and emails going out without me even having to do it. And yeah, I think at the time I had just over 30 members, I think, and 6 people took me up on that. So I got 6 paid in full for 12 months in a week.
How much revenue did that get you roughly?
Nearly about 9,000.
Amazing, hey? Absolutely amazing. So guys, the Godfather offer, it's also called a Reason For campaign. Essentially it's a promotion to get 12 months up front. And I guess, Stu, you have a good story, mate, where you did it on Boxing Day and then again for Mother's Day. Do you think there's anything you learned in that time to make the Mother's Day one go a little bit better compared to the Boxing Day?
I think like you said, it's also called a reason for campaign. And I think my emails and text messages had a little bit more about this is why I'm doing it. So it had a bit more emphasis on that. And I think because I automated the text messages as well, I made sure I did it. Whereas on the Boxing Day one, I think I skipped a couple of text messages because I just forgot I had to do it at that time. So the marketing is more consistent and on point.
And how did you automate the text messages and emails? You mentioned, what CRM are you using?
So I use ACR for that. So yeah, so it's really good. It does everything for you.
Yeah,
as long as you do the work at the start. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like any CRM. Like you pull your hair out at the start of it. Like they're not super easy to get involved with, but after the first week or two, once you learn all the, where to find everything, how to do everything, they're all quite easy. I find, mate, with any CRMs, I just find it very frustrating in the first couple of weeks when you're importing your email list and all that stuff. But then once you do that, then you kind of never look back and ideally try to never change CRMs once you've done it once. So, man, I want to. Oh, yeah.
Part of it is Jackson has a lot of things set up in there already. So once it gets set up, you basically have to just put your business name in where it says business name and things like that, and it's all set up. You don't really have to recreate the wheel. You can edit things a little bit as you go, but you can pretty much start from day one and it's all set up for you.
Yeah, no, it's really, really nice. Yeah, it's a really great system, Jackson. And mate, let's change themes a little bit to sales. So at the moment, do you want to give us a bit of background on your sales? So there's a bit of a time where, you're still building up your skills and your confidence level. Do you want to tell us a bit about that? Because you're getting credit card details over the phone now, which is phenomenal. Really massive transformation that. Tell us a bit about where you started with sales and what a couple of the big changes over the last couple of months.
Yeah, so that's probably the biggest thing for me over the last couple of months, because I remember contacting you real early on when I first went out into the park about maybe your agency doing my sales for me.
Back in the day,
because I was just scared to get on the phone. I was worried people were, not wanting to talk to me, and even though they put their details in, I didn't like calling them, and actually, that's something I still have to improve as I push myself a bit further, is contacting people who haven't booked in. If they've just opted in but they haven't scheduled a call, I'm just leaving them and not calling them. But I'm confident in calling people now, and I just had some bad experiences early on where I didn't make a couple of sales really early on, and just put it down to, I'm shit at sales, I can't do this, where I should have had a bit more of a growth mindset about it. But the last couple of months, I guess I've just started doing it, and the more I've done it, the more I've got a bit more confidence in it, because people have started saying yes, and I've started going, well, actually, people do want to work with me, and I can make a sale on the phone and stuff. So
yeah. And mate, you've got such an amazing story. You could help so many people just from your authority and your status. But mate, with so you prefer to get credit card over the phone, and when we were prepping for this interview, you said something very unique about because everyone who watches, we used to do all face-to-face sales, and I really love it. I like the connection, but you prefer over the phone, which creates so much more leverage, so much more time. Why do you really like over the phone sales for you at the moment, and why is it, help you be more confident and follow the processes that you're doing so well with?
Yeah, I really like over the phone because I can have my computer in front of me with the script up on it, and while I'm talking to them, I can make sure that I'm going through all the points in the script that I have to. I can look at the script. If you've got someone in the studio, obviously you can't look at what question you have to do next. And, it might be that in the future I will prefer in person, but maybe I won't. Maybe I'll just stay on the phone all the time. But at the moment, being able to make sure I don't forget anything means I'm not waffling on with crap and, missing questions that are important. So
yeah. Well, mate, I think the key with any business, my brother, is if it's working, don't change, right? So if you've got your over the phone sales working, if that's working really well and you're scaling, there's no need to change to face to face. We only change if we need to. And mate, you said so I know, because obviously, guys, so Stu's in our program, so he's got a lot of help off like Brad and myself, but also you got some really good resources from the Systems by Design guys. Andrew Poulton, who's a absolute lord at sales. He's probably one of the very, very best in the world. Do you want to explain maybe a couple of, people who have, helped you go from, kind of not confident on the phones to getting credit card details over the phone for 6-week programs?
Yeah, well, I think Andrew Poulton is the big one, I think, because I had a look at the Systems by Design stuff in the portal, did the sales training, just sat and did the whole course of sales training in one night. Got a copy of the script off him, and I just started using it on my calls the next day, and it's just been game changer. I think the biggest thing is I've never had too much of a problem letting other people talk and listening. Like, that's not been an issue for me because I'm not a big noisy dude. But at the end of the call, when you say the price, just saying the price with conviction, that's the price, and then being quiet and letting them think it through rather than trying to justify your price. I think that has been the biggest thing, because in the past I would have said, it's X dollars a week and you get this and you get that and you get this and blah, blah, blah. And in that time, they could have been thinking about, oh, should I do it? Shouldn't I? And you interrupt them when they're thinking, maybe I shouldn't do it. And they just go, oh, no. I didn't even realize that was happening until I did that training and thought, okay, well, I'll just be silent. And the other day I recorded a call and I listened back, and it was like 36 seconds that I just sat there in silence after I said the price. And
the power of pausing.
Yeah, and I would have thought, if you just sat there for 36 seconds, they're going to think, what's wrong? But they eventually just come back with, oh, are you there? And you go, yeah, I'm just letting you think it through. And usually they go, yeah, cool, let's do it. So it's amazing. It's just, you wouldn't think it unless you went and did the training and learnt these things that work. You wouldn't think that they work.
Yeah, and Andrew P's an amazing bloke. I'm lucky to call him a close friend. I did. He wrote me, he wrote our scripts for us, and it's an absolute piece of art. He's a genius. I've never met someone so passionate about sales. Like, he's read every sales book, and we'll go and hang out, and the conversation somehow always swings into sales. Like, he just loves it. Very, very best in the world. He's an amazing bloke. And mate,
I've gone from absolutely hating sales to swinging to the other side where I'm loving it, and I'm just wishing I'd get more calls booked in. Yeah, I just want to sit on the phone.
It's where all the money's at. Sales roles within all companies are always the highest paid for a reason. And usually it's the last thing that gym owners outsource as well. And mate, just some final thoughts. So, there'll be some people watching, under 10K, maybe not chasing their dreams and things like that. Mate, if you had any advice from, where you were to where you are today, that you could share with the audience, what are a couple of things that you think could help them?
I definitely think starting with the end in mind. So have an idea of what you want the business to look like, and know that eventually you're going to have more clients and you're going to have to think in the future about putting on a trainer if that's the size you want to get to, and try and get some systems in place early, even if it seems to not make sense because it's just you and you know how to do it. Getting that in place so that you can just hand it over when you need to is a big one, and tracking your numbers and really having an idea of where you're headed, how many people you've got, and what your money is, how your money is going. They're the two big ones, I think.
Awesome. Mate, thank you so much for coming on today, and thank you for being one of the absolute best clients I've ever worked with out of the hundreds. Really, really love our chats and how well you're doing. Mate, have a really good day, and just thank you so much for coming on.
No worries, Jimmy. Thanks for having me.